Wagwan, boys and girls watching along at home. Thank you for joining us on this somber Sunday night as the Dockers go down to the Sydney Swans. Footy is back. You know footy's back when Freo are losing close results. Just a frustrating one. Same type of outcome as we experienced last year towards the back end against Essendon, against Geelong, GWS for grabs, and we just don't have what it takes. Let's get you guys in here to unpack it. It's not all about me. It is about you guys. Jimbo's been in here for a while, so let's get Jimbo in, see what he has to say. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Talk to me, brother. What are you saying about that?
Well, you said at the top, it's frustrating. We've been in these positions many a times where the game's been on the line, and we just we've never really got the result. Really, I don't really remember much close games that we've won. It's just not really four-quarter efforts. Any game that we play, so it's quite disappointing.
Yeah, it felt like today we came out in the first quarter, played all right. It was tough conditions with the heat and the sun and whatnot. I get that. It just didn't really seem like there was much urgency, like you said, from the boys today. The effort was lacking at times, which is frustrating. Let's look to some sort of positives. Did anyone impress you today? Was there anyone's game that you liked today?
I thought Neil Erasmus back in the top side was he did shine a bit today, and he's been playing a lot of waffle last year, so for him to get back to the AFL list is quite good for him. And I think once he starts to get a few more games under his belt this season, he'll go really well. Sarong, well, we saw he was getting tagged a lot today. He's probably getting a bit frustrated towards the second half, a few holding the balls. But that effort going back with the flight to score the ball, not infringe, that was really good from him. And we're just all these players, we're just not gelling at the moment, really. I mean, it's only a few players playing well at a certain time, and it's hopefully we can get the chemistry going soon.
Yeah, no, well said. I thought that was one of Erasmus's better games today for the Dockers with the ball in hand. It is a game of moments. Like there was a moment where Bice, I think his name is, kicked a goal late, and it's Erasmus's man, and Erasmus switches off for 5 sets out the back and gets that left-footed goal, which brings them to within a kick, and ultimately led them to win. And yeah, like you said, Sarong getting tagged today. Yeah, he didn't have his best day today either, but that effort for him to go back with the flight, it was courageous. How do you see us going next week? Are you confident or are you scared going up against West Coast, Jim?
Well, I was watching West Coast earlier today, and I thought it was 2018 West Coast out there against the Lions. They were dominant in the first quarter, and then obviously we saw the West Coast of old come into the second half and just sort of not really provide that much effort. But if West Coast bring the heat like they did in the first quarter for 4 quarters next week, would be in serious trouble because, today we weren't there for the big moments, and Sydney wanted to win the game. They had the game in their hand. We just weren't really competitive when they were at their best, and we do sort of need to see better. I think also Shea probably just he's always been very crafty. I just don't think he's gelled with the Fremantle forwards. Obviously he's had an interrupted preseason, so hopefully they can gel as well. I mean, I liked what he was trying to do. His pressure was really good, but yeah, just the gel wasn't there. And these moments where we switch off at such a close competition, it's the difference between winning and losing. So we really need to make sure we're on for 4 quarters.
Yeah, you've said it well there. And I think what you said, like Sydney sensed the win today. Like we didn't have any urgency to just take the game out of their hands and own the moment and go for that win. And I felt like we really had that drive today to go and just win the game. And it felt like after the first quarter, Sydney sort of clawed their way back. And then, in those moments, it just felt like they were keen to go for the jugular and get the win. And they did. So credit to them. you joining, Jimbo. Do you have anything else you want to say to the Freo Faithful? You're on the channel first up tonight. Thank you for joining me. Anything else you want to close out on? Any questions, anything?
Hopefully, we can see a better performance next week. Get a win against West Coast. I mean, our percentage is really low. We're low on confidence. We just haven't put in the performances that we were expecting to see this year. Two really flat defeats, one smashing, one really painful nail biter. So it's upsetting. But look, the boys have always sort of been on the back foot. They've never really had control of the competition, and when they have, they've always let it go. So I feel like they're used to having to come from behind to get themselves in a position to play finals. But yeah, if we can get a win on the board next week, hopefully that gets some confidence. Yeah, look, yeah, we need to see better.
Yeah, rough start. Lions started 0-3 next year, so hopefully we can, go on to win the flag. But we'll see how we go. Thanks for your time, Jimbo. You're a good man. Keep joining the fan cams. Keep hopping. We appreciate you coming in and spending your time with us on Sunday after that sad defeat. You're a good man, Jimbo. Cheers.
See ya.
Jimbo, what a man. He had good points. All right. Do you guys want to hop on the YouTube channel? If you're watching on YouTube, in the link in the description of the video, you can hop on. It'll add you to the stage here, then I can add you to the live stream. So let's get Harry in here.
How are you, Drizzy?
Harold, talk to me. Good to see you, mate. Not too great after that loss, but what are you saying?
I've just got back from Optus, so I was there because I'm a member. But I actually thought we weren't that bad today, but just very inconsistent throughout the game. And yeah, we definitely should have won that.
What do you think we did well today?
I think the midfield group actually worked pretty well together. Like when it was actually clearance work, we were pretty good, I think. Obviously our tools like Pierce, Tracy, Jacko, they were really good. But I think the thing that we were really lacking today was that second forward to help out Tracy. We just didn't have that.
Yeah, I felt like Vossi was good at times. It's like,
yeah, no.
He kicked that goal early on. Like if he kicks that goal in the fourth quarter, we're all here happy as a pig in shit, like living the dream. We got our first win on the board. But like I thought Voss competed well, and I thought Amos in moments, like he got that holding the ball, running back. I think it was on Rampy or Lloyd.
Yeah, no.
And he took some big marks. I actually thought Amos, I thought when he was called upon today, he did well. But he didn't kick a goal, Amos, I don't think. So, yeah, didn't have that end product. You talked about our inconsistent effort today. What was that inconsistent effort like at the ground? What did you see?
It was just like the disposal when the game's really on the line. Like, I don't know if you were watching on TV, obviously, but the ball, like how many times do you see the ball just get looped into the air, straight kick to nothing? I also think when Brandon Walker went down, I don't know, has he broke his wrist or something like that? That really
was it a dislocated shoulder, I think.
I thought it was his wrist, but yeah, he went off, and then obviously you bring Draper on. Draper's a good player, but in that game where we needed probably a bit of run and carry, Walker is really handy for that. And yeah, I think if Brandon Walker didn't go down, it could have helped us a bit, but it wouldn't have changed the whole game,
Yeah, I feel like Jordan Clark at points can really provide that run and dash off of half back for us, but we haven't really seen it for a while. Definitely not this year. And Chapman as well. Like, I want to see, if we're a high handball side, you want to see us take the game on through the middle of the ground. And I feel like out of the back half today, we just, we're kicking it. I don't mind kicking it, but there wasn't much run and carry today through the middle of the ground. Yeah. What did you make? Any performances that stood out to you today? Who would be your best three today?
If I had to go 3-2-1, I'd go 3 votes to JT. I'd go 2 to Alex Pearce, and I'd go one to Luke Jackson. But there's a few other little cameos. I actually think Bruce, when he was around it, he got that holding the ball right in front of my block where it was a 2-on-1. He ends up actually fighting for the ball pretty well, gets the hold on the ball. The kick wasn't it, but I rated his effort. The last bloke that was on before me, he stated Erasmus. He did fuck up a few things. Like I did catch on to that Riley Bias goal the same as you did. And yeah, it was Raz's man, but you can definitely tell there is improvement in him. What I'm starting to see this year is guys like Matthew Johnson, Nathan O'Driscoll. They're really starting to come into their own. But I think the forward line, that's just the bit that let us down today, but you can tell there is improvement. I actually did rate Patrick Voss's game today, but I've seen all over the Freo socials that the comments are just shitting all over Voss.
Well, he's going to cop it just for missing it at the end, but I think his four-quarter effort was pretty decent. What do you think was the problem with our forward line today? Because when I was at the game last week in Geelong, it felt like there was no movement. Like it felt like there was any leading patterns that he hitting up. I feel like when we were out the front of the contest today, out the front of the midfield, we were doing well to Tracy when he was on those leads. But when the ball movement was slower, it didn't look like, we were making it easy for our forwards. So how did you see our forwards today?
Well, I usually the forward that I'm usually trusting in the most out of the smalls is Sam Swikowski, but obviously he's not in there today because he's injured. And I'm mates with, do you know Todd Curley? He's the new assistant coach at Freo. He's the opposition coach. I'm good mates with his son, and I wasn't expecting big things at Bolton because Bolton's 80% apparently. He's not fully fit. So we were kind of putting him out there just because we didn't have much else in the stocks. So I was expecting maybe a better performance from a Frederick or a Banfield. And I do love Bailey Banfield, but I just think he maybe could have, some of the space he was leading into, and he's always putting pressure on that left side of his, he's always kicking on the left. So it's teams have worked it out now. So, from what I was seeing today, he gets the ball on his left and teams just pressure it and there's not much he can really do. So he has to go loopy. That's where all the loopiness was coming from.
Yeah. No, there was a moment where Brayshaw was running off of half back and he hit Banfield right on the chest and Banfield just drops the chest mark, ball goes through his legs and we turn it over. That just can't be happening. Those moments where we're on the break, banners just take that mark, lad. But yeah, a bit of a frustrating one. You mentioned Alex Pearce there. I think he had a pretty solid game. He was defended well. He was a bit fumbly at times, but overall he played well. And Jackson as well. I was a fan of Jackson's game today. He was definitely the best ruckman on the ground, and he was our highest rated player on ground as well. Let me get up his stats. He had 20 disposals, 28 hit out, and a goal.
No, but my real player that I'm a little bit disappointed in, and I just don't think he's been up to standard this year, Luke Ryan, a bit. He's not looking as fit as he usually is. Bit of half-assed running. I don't know. He's not what 2024 Luke Ryan was, that really reliable, can play tall, can play small, can win you games, always gets the ball out of the back line, he always gets it out pretty accurately, never stuffs up, but something's not right down with Ryan. And Coxie, he got a bit unlucky there with the Marty at the end, but I'm not shitting over JL, I'm not shitting over the team. I'm backing us in for the derby. We gotta trust our players, I reckon. Don't turn on them in round 2.
Yeah, I know, well said. There's no point of, you can question a player's performance and say we expect better because we do expect better as fans. But we're not here to shit on players, to shit on JL. We're here to support. And although we're disappointed, we're not going to hate on him. Anything else from you, Harry? Anything else that you saw at the game today, or you want to add before I get Sammy in?
No, I'm just hoping we beat West Coast now.
Yeah, both big game, away derby. They played well today as well, West Coast. They looked good. So
and if Jake Waterman's back in for them,
hopefully. Yes. No, that's going to be a tough game now. There's no easy games. We saw the D's get pumped by North Melbourne. It's just the state of AFL in 2025.
And then
So, yeah.
the next
But no,
two-
Harry, you're a good man.
thank you, Jersey. Stay safe, brother.
I'll go for it. What you say?
Oh, okay.
I think there's a little bit of lag, but thank you. You're all right. You're all right. Thanks for joining me, Harry. You're a good man. Keep hopping into the fan cams and having your say every week. We appreciate you joining. So, yeah, you're a good Freo Faithful lad. Thank you for joining us, Harry. Cheers, mate. There we go. Harry live, not Optus, but he went to Optus and he saw the game. I was going to add Sam, but we've also got the Dockside View talking about somewhere. Let's see what he has to say, because I think he was in before Sammy. Dockside View. How are we doing?
Yeah, mate,
Is it Jordan?
Yeah,
It is Jordan.
yeah, Jordan. Yeah, not too good. Obviously, I think first of all, good on you for not doing the fan cams straight after the game, because I think a few of us needed a bit of time to let that one set in, if you know what I mean. But yeah, obviously, I think we need to look at it, because realistically, that game could have gone either way. Like, if Voss doesn't hit the post late there, we win. If Marty doesn't try off Cox, we win. But at the same time, the performance wasn't like we got high expectations of the team this year, and the performance, even though, as I said, we did get unlucky at the end, the performance wasn't at the standard that we wanted. That's for sure.
Were you at the game, Geordie?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I'm just walking through. I've taken a long walk home, but just gotten off the bus now. But yeah, I was there, and yeah.
So you were talking about, like, we expect a higher standard of the Dockers this year. What do you expect from us? What of that did you see today, and what did we lack today from being at the game?
I think, like, the things that I saw that I think were standard, a lot of individual performances I thought were really good. I thought our two key defenders, Pearce and Cox, I thought they played their roles really well. I thought, obviously, Tracy was outstanding. I thought a lot of the players, you talk a lot now about, your stars are your stars, but your bottom six players or whatever. And I thought they were good as well. I thought O'Driscoll, even though he's not probably a bottom six player, he was really strong. And I think he's definitely a weapon for us going forward. I thought Erasmus played his role well. I thought Walker, even though he went off with that shoulder injury, did his role well on Papley. But as I think someone else said, the team just isn't gelling as much. The game plan isn't really as there. The game style that we want to play isn't there. We weren't able to sort of go through the middle, and the handball game wasn't how we scored most of our goals. A lot of it was just kicks to Tracy and hope. So yeah, that's the thing that disappointed me today. A lot of it good individual performances. There's not too many players that I think you can criticise from that, but as a collective, we just weren't good enough.
Yeah, I think, like you said there, the game style and the gelling, that's what's just going to take some time. Like, I feel like this group has been together for a while, but you add guys like Bolton to it, and you try to get Murphy Reid and Erasmus, and yeah, I don't know if that's the difference, but it is frustrating that we're not all on the same page. And you make a good point. It was a lot of just kick to Josh Tracy and hope today.
And as you said about Bolton, I think Bolton definitely provides something that we didn't have last season, and we saw glimpses of that today. But he had the first game yips like everyone did last week, so and that's to be expected. But the signs are good there from Bolton's perspective. I think obviously we all know our forward line was the most disappointing part of it today. Giant miss, as I said, I think a lot of people said about him, every preseason we hear that he's got to bulk up and he's got to get bigger and become this contested beast. But I thought in 2023, which was probably his best year when he was a bit slimmer, it was more like he was agile and he was able to easily make a lead and beat any key defender. And I think that that was probably when he was at his best, and that's why I don't think he really needed to sort of become what Tracy is, which is this massive contested beast. So I think there's probably some work to be done on a miss going forward. And then you look at players. I said Voss was okay, but Frederick didn't offer much as well either. I think he didn't really lead at all. He didn't really offer any threats. So yeah, the forward line was obviously the most disappointing part today.
Yeah, the forward line was disappointing last week when I was down in Geelong, I thought. I thought Amos competed well in moments today, but we need him kicking goals. We need him, contributing on the scoreboard, and he just wasn't today. I think obviously he does need to bulk up a little bit. You do need a little bit of muscle in the AFL. Not sure if that's the worry, but yeah, we do need more consistency from him. And Michael Frederick, yeah, he frustrated me last week, even though we kicked a couple. But yeah, he missed a couple of goals he really should have kicked today, which would have been the difference. But yeah, I'll tell you who I thought had a really good game today. I thought was probably one of our best on that hasn't been mentioned yet is Jager O'Meara. I thought he was really good against the Cats last week. And yeah, I thought he was probably our best midfielder today, Jager, out at the ground.
Well, Jager was the only player I think that had over 30 touches in the whole game, I think, when I had a look. I think he racked up about 34 or something, and I don't think anyone from either side racked up more than 30. So, yeah, I think he's had a big pre-season, and he's looked really good, Jager. And we've talked about needing the bigger body midfielder. I don't know if that's Jager, maybe that's more Johnson, but yeah, Jager is sort of playing the role because Sarong and Brayshaw didn't really get the ball much today. So I think Jager was sort of there as the player, as a sort of centre point of the midfield today, and he did that role really well. But yeah, as I said, he got a lot of the ball, but then Strong and Brayshaw didn't. So I guess from a midfield perspective, that sort of evens, where the disappointment was, I guess.
Yeah, you are right. He had the most touches on the ground today, 32 disposals. O'Driscoll's next with 25. Yeah, he had a pretty good game today, I thought, O'Driscoll. But yeah, neither Brayshaw or Sarong had more than today, and they're the blokes who need the ball in their hands off. So hopefully Hayden Young is back pretty soon, and this midfield can get back to its best. This isn't functioning as well as it should at the moment. Alrighty, Geordie, I'll let you go. Thank you for joining. Is there anything else? Yeah, I think it is lagging a little bit. Is there anything you wanted to add before you head off?
I think I'll add one more thing. I hate doing this whole, one more week thing, but I think next week, against the enemy, if we can't just beat West Coast. If we actually want to show that we are a team that is going to be up there this year, that's the sort of game that we've just got to absolutely take and give them absolutely no chance. So massive watch on next week for me. But yeah, just the team didn't gel today, and that's all it is.
Yeah, no, massive game next week, and it's definitely not a gimme. But yeah, we can't keep making excuses like you said. Thanks for joining, Geordie. You're a good man. Keep tuning into the Freo Faithful channel, and we'll keep getting you in on the fan cams. He has lagged out there. Sorry if there is lag on the stream. I have been experiencing a bit of lag with my internet recently, but still coming through. Sam Davis has been waiting for a while. I can see you in there, SB and John, but Sam Davis was first. Let's see if he picks her up. Sammy, can you hear me? Are you in there, brother?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. Do you have a face cam, or are you just gonna ride without?
I'll just ride without. I've got a mean lid.
What do you have to say?
I'm just a bit confused on the team, to be honest. Like in the last, I think JL said that the team had learnt lessons from last year, but if I ask you how many goals we've kicked in the last 6 fourth quarters that we played, how many do you reckon we've kicked? In the 6 straight losses, how many goals?
Probably like 3.
4? Oh, geez. It's close, though. We've only kicked more than 1 goal once in the last 6 fourth quarters, which was 4 against GWS.
I thought you meant like all up. All right. I thought you meant like all up how many goals have we kicked in the last 6?
Oh, yeah. Nah, but yeah, I probably phrased that badly, but no, we've only kicked more than 1 goal once. And then we started this season 20 points down versus Geelong, kick 1 goal. Today, kick 1 goal again. Like, what lessons have they learned? Like, what's changed what's changed over the preseason? Like, it feels like we're just watching the same thing.
Yeah, that was frustrating. Like, yeah.
Like
You go, Sammy.
how often are we sitting there in the fourth quarter and just like not kicking a goal? Like it feels like we're just dragging the game out, and then we have to be perfect in defence. Like people might blame Brandon Cox for conceding that goal today, but if we let through one thing, we lose the game because we can't do anything up the other end. So it's just so frustrating. And then and then
Yeah,
I know people shouldn't really copy Hawthorn, but I feel like we're so tall in the forward line as well. Like like you have Erasmus resting down there. He's not quick as a player or anything. Like, and then you have the three keys down there as well. Like Banfield's not the quickest player either. Like I feel like teams are just exiting our forward 50 so easily this year. Like it's just frustrating.
yeah, it does feel like that. Feel like these last 2 weeks been so easy to move the ball against. From kick-ins, the Sydney Swans were scoring goals today. Bailey Smith was just taking the piss last week. Like, yeah, our team defense, which we pride ourselves on, has just been non-existent these last couple of weeks. As for being too tall, I get what you mean. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one. We definitely haven't got our mix right.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
what you were talking about, like, have we learned how? I'll just finish that point on, like, you were saying how we haven't really learned our lessons from last year. That's the most frustrating part. Like, because, yeah, those last 4 weeks of last year, there was so much talk about it over the offseason, how we've done, like, game situations and that type of thing. And we just didn't show. Like, I was watching the game at home thinking, like, have we actually improved? Have we drilled this? Do we know what we need to do to win? But there didn't seem like there was any urgency to put the game to bed and take the win today. Although, having said that, if he kicks that goal late, we probably win the game, which is frustrating.
Yeah, but you don't want to leave yourself in a situation where someone has to kick the goal. And I get Sydney's a good team, but that they're 0-2, like new coach, like they're not the same team from what they were with this time last year. So it's just like it's like yeah, like Vossi's an experienced player, but I thought he played quite well today, especially in the first half. He seems like a good second ruck option. Like I'd play him next week. He's copping a lot of stick because he did some pretty dumb things today, and that missed set shot. But like outside of that set shot, like what chances did we have to kick a goal in that fourth quarter? Like
Yeah,
so, yeah,
didn't really.
like yeah, but I've liked O'Driscoll's start to the season. Like if I'm looking for positives, like Murphy Reid, he looks he looks pretty good. Like as a small in the forward line. Disappointed about
Yeah,
Walker. Uh yeah, there's I think obviously having Hayden Young will help like with the forward line connection, but it's just I don't know, like Jail's got to sort this out quickly because missing finals this year, like we can't go on three. We just can't go on three versus West Coast.
it actually could happen as well. Like the way that West Coast played today, they've home fans there next week. Like they beat us at their home derby last year. There's no guarantees, but you were talking about, no Brandon Walker now. We've Switkowski, who's probably our best small forward. Brandon Walker, who's one of our more dynamic small defenders. No Hayden Young, no Sean Darcy. Do you think once those guys come in, it's just all sunshine and rainbows, or do you think there's a bit more to it, like with our game plan?
Nah, like I reckon, like obviously having some of those players will help, but like we've heard like all year about the depth on the team this year. So like I don't know if they like Jail looks at making a change this early. Like I really like Cooper Simpson. I would like to see him get a game. I think he's got a
Yeah.
bit of forward half polish that we don't have. Um, I yeah, like I don't think Banfield's doing his selection chances any good right now either. So um,
I
yeah,
don't I don't get why we're still selecting it. Like, yeah, sorry, I just wanted to, like, someone mentioned Banfield before, like with the amount of talent that we do have with these young players, like even like a Jack Deline, I don't know what his waffle form's been like, but Cooper Simpson, such a highly rated prospect. Yeah, I don't know. Like Banfield just hasn't given me. If I was coach, he hasn't given me a reason to pick him for a long time now. And like you said, Cooper Simpson is dynamic. He's got those, shifty feet. He's agile. And I feel like Switkowski goes out and Cooper Simpson's a similar stature, a similar type. So that's a good point you make there. And you were
Yeah,
talking about
like
Murphy Reed earlier on. I didn't see Murphy Reed lose a one-on-one contest today. I was very again.
yeah, like I don't want to compare like JL to other coaches or anything, but like do you think Kingsley or Craig McRae would pick Banfield or something like that? Like I feel like a lot like I don't think Mitchell would pick Banfield. Like a lot of these teams are picking quick small forwards, and it feels like right now only Bolton and Frederick like have that pace in the front half of the ground. Like I guess like O'Driscoll has that pace going through the middle, but no one really else. Like Erasmus is really slow for a midfielder. Like he's really ploddy. Like I know a lot of Freo fans wanted to see him today, but I personally I don't think he's good enough. Like he's really slowed. Like it feels like we lack the ability to kick on in the fourth quarter. Like and these teams are just running past us. Like Sydney in that fourth quarter, just when the whips got cracking, they just turned it up another level. And I feel like we don't have another gear to go to compared to some of these other teams we played in our last 6 games.
That's fair. Yeah, speaking about like who would Kingsley select, or you look at that Giants forward line, some of the players that Kingsley has played over the last little bit, Darcy Jones, young, what's his name? Thomas Harvey. Is it Harvey? What am I thinking
Yeah,
of? That
yeah, Harvey Thomas, I think.
young small
Oh,
forward.
and the kid
Harvey
with the
Thomas
lid.
got his name back to front.
Yeah,
Grzeski or whatever, like
Brent Daniels.
proper young. Yeah. The point I'm trying to make is like, give Cooper Simpson a crack, man. Like, what do we have to lose in playing Cooper Simpson instead of Bailey Banfield? Yeah, I feel ya. But I don't know. I think Erasmus played well in attack today. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe we do need a little bit more speed with our midfield. But I haven't said that. Like David Mundy was never a quick player, you know. Like, it wasn't like in 2013 we had like a really fast midfield. But I do hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but Matt Johnson and Erasmus feel like they're two players doing the same role in the team. Like I don't know what your thoughts on that are, but uh, like they just they're both like I don't know, like it feels like teams are walking it out of our forward 50 and our defense is under so much pressure this year because we're not like it feels like we're always behind players. Like we're never like in their face, like tackling, laying big tackles or anything like that. I saw like Erasmus laid that one tackle, but like how many big tackles were there today? Like you switch on a Friday night game, like you watch these other teams across the league and like the heat is on. Like, I don't get that same feeling when I watch Freo. It feels like it's just walking around end to end. Like I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
it's like do you get that feeling watching Freo like, oh my god, the pressure's insane? Like
Yeah, no, I 100% get what you're saying. I was actually thinking that throughout the weekend, watching like the Bulldogs versus Collingwood. Yeah, that was the main game that I sort of think to like if Freo showed up on a Friday night against a big Victorian club, would we be able to handle the pressure game style? We can't even do it against Sydney at home, so I think the answer to that right now at this stage of the season is no. But I'm going to back us in to do some good things. But
all
yeah,
right,
we got to
cheers,
turn around
mate.
quick. We got to gel.
All
Sammy,
right,
you're a good
cheers.
man. Thanks for joining, mate. Yeah, keep coming in week out. We appreciate your support, brother. You're a good man. You got some good opinions. Alrighty. All right. SB's on the train, I reckon. So let's see. It might be a bit laggy. SB, are you on the Mandra line?
Drizzy,
How are you?
I am. We just arrived. We just arrived at Freo. So,
He's off at.
can you hear me?
I can. If it gets too laggy, I might have to get someone else in. But
No, that's all good. Yeah. So I don't know where to start, man. It was terrible. It's no good.
where can you start? What didn't go
Well,
right today?
I think I think that I'm sick to death of this bombing it into the 50, like we've got Wayne Carey, every time, which is pretty tough to watch. And I think, our poor defence was under fire the whole day. We had top line players like Freddie making mistakes, Caleb Sarong just kicking it into the dirt to someone random. You know what I mean? Like it just went on and on and on. And I've been thinking since I've been watching the show, like just on the way down here, listening to you guys, that we might as well be controversial and say, with every game that goes by, I think it's a vindication of Roscoe. I can't think of another era when you could roll up and know that our defence was rock solid. That and sure they were they were tight games, but today was tight. So it's not like it was we were kicking bags today. So it was a nail biter. But in Roscoe's day, we had players like mid-level players becoming elite with their pressure, like Ibbotson and like Maney. Like we had guys who had like heart and soul and would just throw everything 110% at the ball, right? And here we've got all these elite players, and look at Freddie, he's playing like a millionaire, Like I mean, these guys and Jackson, another one who you just watched. So I mean, he was very good today, but sometimes you just go, man, do you know what? Like Ibbotson in his best season, give me him, like give me these boys who really lifted. Do you remember that era? Am I all alone?
Yeah. No. What you're throwing down, brother? You go. Talk your shit.
Look, I know it's I know it's I went. I saw it with my father-in-law, and we're both tragics. And look, everyone who's been on has given way better analysis of the game and way better numbers. I'm going on the vibes, but like, it's just like for me, it's there's an effort thing, that I miss. I miss rolling up in that 2013 era and just knowing that we got this. I'll be like, yeah, we got this. We're gonna roll over them in the end. We're fitter than them. We're tougher than them. We're hungrier than them. And it all built to that game. I'm not gonna. This is the last thing I'll say about the old days, but it just built to that final game against Sydney. Where we were chanting MCG. Yeah. That was the culmination of that whole deal. And I miss it, man. I miss it real bad.
You even saying like the culmination in that CG chance in that Sydney game, that has got like goosebumps standing up. Honestly, like that was the pinnacle of Fremantle football.
Get it, man.
And that was 12 years ago. But like you said, like.
But look, I'm happy to move on.
Freo, go on. What were we gonna say?
No, I'm happy to move on and think about what we got to do next week and all of that. But like, if I had to talk about more modern stuff, I'd say, stuff like Erasmus. I know there's a lot of people who want this kid to happen, but like, how many chances we got to give him? You know what I mean? Like, why can't he just come in like Barlow? Why can't he just come in and just kill it like Barlow or Morabito or so? Like I know I just can't get off the old days, man. Like I want it to be. I want Morabito back. I want Barlow back before the leg break, And we keep getting these guys in, and they're just kind of not quite there. Like they're obviously got a good showing, but then they get on the park and then like just that kick that I think Erasmus did with Bolton right in front of him, and he just wheeled and just kicked it into nowhere in that fourth quarter or whatever. I was just so frustrated.
I get what you mean. Back in the day, you're alluding to the old days, so we might as well talk about it. But like, I felt like watching it at home today, we lacked any desire to hunt. We just seemed a bit flat-footed at times and like easy to move the ball against. Like, I can't tell you now what our 2025 game plan looks like, but surely as a fundamental of the game plan, bring some toughness, fucking run, like be hungry to tap as a pack. Because like at Subi, when in those last few years, like you knew when you were rocking up that the players were going to bring the heat and bring the pressure, and players like Frederick and Banfield just weren't providing that today. So I'm picking up what you're throwing down. I'm going to keep it. If you got anything else to say, throw it in. But
all I'll say is one last thing. I'll just say, look, I think that I'll just this last thing. I'll just say that like we've got no swagger, and we're not tough enough, and we're not antisocial, and it shows. And I'm sick of it. And I think and that's what we Freo fans want, is a bit of respect. And the only way we're going to get it is to start knocking some skulls around, I think. Anyway, that's all I got.
No, I agree that. I think that's well said. We need to be more harder to play against. But SB, thank you for your time, mate.
Thanks, Rudy.
You're a true Freo man out there on the way home. You're a good man, SB. He makes a good point. We're not bastards. We're not dicks to play against. Be hard to play against. We need to be tougher. Let's get John in. John boy.
Hey, how you going?
How you going? What did you think of tonight's game?
Well, I was at the stadium with my mum. We've been members for about 10, 15 years now. I think a lot of the points that have been raised in this live chat are spot on. I 100% agree in terms of the bombing inside 50. I feel like that's kind of the default that we fall back into when we go into our shells. We did a lot last year, and we're such a better side when we're scoring on the counter and playing that free-flowing style football. But when we get locked up into like our opposition's defense, and we just basically stagnate inside 50, we're just not able to lower our eyes and look for short kicks, or even, and our key forwards are not really providing that dynamics to actually offer leads or something creative to, I guess, keep the opposition's defense second guessing. That's what I felt like for a lot of, like, especially the second half, was what was killing us, and was what we would just, it would just be ping pong going inside 50, coming back out. And then as a consequence, as we're saying, then it freed up Sydney on the counter and leaving all of our, defenders having to struggle to try and, basically, prevent any forward action. But yeah, that's a lot of what I saw. I don't want to assassinate too many individuals, but I concur with a lot of people. Don't for the life of me understand why we continue to insist on giving Bailey Banfield a game. I'm really looking forward till Sturt comes back, because I think that's just a direct swap, and I think he's like a solid waffle player at best, but he's just not at the standard at AFL, and he's got enough games behind him for us, I think, to reinforce that. One that is, I think, a controversial one, which I'm sure some people disagree with me. I feel like Brennan Cox is just not the player that he was when he was like All-Australian squad player. I kind of like watching him in the stadium just get so frustrated with how laconic he is with his actions, and that we continue to persevere with such a tall defense with him and Pierce and so forth, that it just doesn't seem to work, in my opinion, with the way his ball movement works. I just think we've got better options with that in defense, with our defensive setup, that it doesn't require him in there. And, that also would free up, more opportunity for Chapman, which mysteriously has now ended up on the fringes in our side for whatever reason. Positives compared to last week, yes, our contest work was a lot better. Still not, in my opinion, up to the standard where we want to be. But ultimately, I think what killed us the most in that game was just our penetration inside 50, which is, as I was saying before, the Wayne Carey bomb-in standard. And it's in modern football, that's just never going to work. We don't have a forward line full of Josh Tracy's that are going to be able to get hangers every single time. So, yeah, that's kind of where I think it all sits.
You've poured your heart out, John. I love that. The bombing footy, and SB was just talking about it does feel a bit Ross Lyon-esque at times. And you look at that score today, 65-68. That is in scoreline. Look, I think JL's I hope JL's a better coach than Ross Lyon. But that long bomb forward entry, it's just not going to work long term. It's all I saw last week against Geelong when I was down at the game. I thought today when we came out the front of stoppages, we were better at lowering the eyes. Like Tracy hit a few good leads and we found him well at times. But like you said, we're meant to be a good transition side with running and counter-attacking football, and we didn't see it today. Interesting point on Cox. He has been frustrating. He was injured for most of last year, but now that he's back, like we expect him to be back to his best. I feel like today flat-footed a few times, ultimately, which led to Marty's goal. Do you think he can be like? Do you see Brendan Cox in our premiership tour if it is to happen?
I feel like, with Draper, for example, rising in terms of his presence in the squad, that I wouldn't say that he's completely out at this point, but I think that he is on notice and that he shouldn't be expecting to be getting a game by default, and that there's clearly going to be more competition for key defenders, tools, positions in the back. And from what I can see so far, I just don't feel like having Pearce and Cox and Draper in the same side is going to work. I think it's just too tall. We still need, our smalls, and we need that speed coming off halfback. It's just more of the 1%ers that I see behind. You don't see so much on TV, but you see in the stadium where he is just not willing to put in that extra effort. And I get it. It's kind of, his style is to be more, I guess, a patient player and just basically being a body breaking in those marking contests. But outside of that, I look at what he provides versus Draper, and I feel with more games, Draper is going to be able to supersede him. So yeah, it's hard to call at this stage, but I do feel like he's on notice.
You're making a good point. Like the modern AFL defender, and I love Brendan Cox, don't get me wrong, he's been a good player for us. But yeah, you look at teams like Hawthorn, like Josh Battle is an intercepting defender, but Alex Pearce does. When they take that intercept, they then take the game on and get the attack moving. Like Brendan Cox seems like a very stationary one-on-one. Like he can take an intercept mark, but he doesn't offer much attacking, as much attacking as someone like an Alex Pearce does, Draper. And yeah, Josh Draper's more athletic than Cox. So maybe that is a point to bring up in selection. I see what you're throwing down there. Who impressed you today? Who did you like?
Well, the obvious one was Tracy. I think he single-handedly, similar to what happened with Reed last week, kept us in the game. I think what has been missed in the chat so far is, even though it was a close game at the end, I feel like Sydney had a huge amount of opportunities that went begging. And I think we'll be having a different conversation now if they capitalise on half of those half opportunities that they were given. So yeah, kind of diverting a little bit there, but the big kahuna, I felt like he single-handedly kept us in the game. Erasmus, I wouldn't say impressed me, but I'm somewhat relieved for his sake that I felt like he took a bit of a step forward today. I've always been one of Erasmus's biggest critics. I've just felt like he's dominated a waffle for ages, and every time he's got a chance in the starting 22, he's mentally just chokes. And somehow today I felt like he was a bit more prolific in terms of his ball use and the way he worked. He's still got a long way to go to impress me that he's got a spot in this side, but I think that was a positive. Otherwise, the other obvious candidates, as we mentioned, was I think I 100% agree with previous people have come on in terms of Alex Pearce and Luke Jackson. I think they were fantastic too.
Yeah. You made a good point there. Like Sydney had a lot of chances that, you know, they didn't even score from, or there was like moments Sarong turned the ball over and they could have capitalized on that and put the game to bed. And like you said, like Murphy Reed kept us in the game. We ended up losing by 80 points last. Yeah, if we didn't have Tracy today, like the system just didn't work because Tracy was the only one that was actually putting score on the board.
Yeah.
So you do make a good point. I feel like Erasmus is going to be a player that, I don't know, I feel like him, Johnson, and O'Driscoll will get the best once they get, and I know we don't like waiting, but another couple, I don't know, it sounds shit, but like another couple years, but once they get to like 60 to 80 game mark where they're proper AFL players, that's when you really start to see them find their feet.
Yeah.
We all want these guys to do well. We all want Erasmus to do well, and I've said it before on the stream, but I think he was good with the ball in hand today.
Yeah,
he put himself in good attacking areas. But I think we need to see him in the side consistently to get his best footy out of him. Like, we're not going to see Erasmus's best if we put him in the side and take him out and play him in the waffle next week. He's not going to get any continuity. I feel like Johnson's a solid player, but he's had a lot more of a chance than Erasmus has. Like, their output today was probably similar. I'd probably say Erasmus even had a better game than Johnson did today, to be honest. What did you make of Matt Johnson?
Oh yeah, Matt Johnson, I think was much better than he was last week. Yeah, we obviously need the big bulky, inside mid. We can't just have all small mids with Sarong and Brayshaw and so forth. I feel I'm yearning for Hayden Young to come back in, my favourite player. I feel like he's got the perfect balance of like the big body mid with the beautiful left foot, and he's actually, he's one of the few that can actually lower his eyes and provide that inside 50, lower kick. The stats, I think they were talking last year, at one point he was like the number one in the AFL for inside 50s converted to goals. We desperately need him back. The conundrum I think we have is once we have, all our fully fit inside mids back, and we have Fife back, and we have, Sonny Walters back as a small forward, and potentially if you really wanted to move him into the mid, is how do you find that balance between, having the bigger bodies in the midfield, having some veteran experience, but also giving these younger bloods like your Johnsons and Erasmus more time in the side. It's it's going to be a tricky one for us to juggle. But ultimately, I don't want to point our performances over this past start of the season and even at the end of the season down to players. I feel structurally there's something clearly going wrong with our game, and that when going back to the start, when we've been our best is when we play counter-attack footy, and we've moved the ball so quickly. It's fantastic to watch. But there's the moment that the defensive 50 or our offensive 50 gets locked down, we look hopeless. And I just feel like that part of our game, we haven't got a clear game plan as to what we do in those scenarios when we aren't able to play our free-flowing footy.
Yeah, 100%. You've nailed it there. I think our ball movement end to end is good. I think when we came out of the front of the stoppage today, I think I said it with SB when he was on, did lower our eyes today, and like those marks that Tracy was taking was, those short little kicks. But yeah, as soon as that defense is set, what Sydney did and they just do it every week. But if they're sort of in that centre half forward zone, like 70 meters out or so, they'll kick it around the arcs, the angles, and shift the defense. We always just sort of kick it to the same pack that Tracy and Jackson are leading to. So yeah, that part of our definitely does need work. But yeah,
and to add to that as well, even if we do play king of the pack, Wayne Carey style, top of the goal square, is there was good points raised before. Is like none of our small forwards have been I don't know what's happening with their offensive training. We're just not able to lock it in, or commit to a tackle, or create some form of inside 50 forward pressure. Like going. Don't want to go nostalgic like we were in this live chat as well. But you think of the small forwards like Hayden Ballantynes and your Lockie Schultz's. It's like that's what they were great at doing, and they gave us that option that. Yeah, sure. If we bomb king of the pack and we don't get anything, at least we can lock it in and get a stoppage. And then, with our ruck combos that we've over the years of Fremantle been very, very lucky to have, with Sandilands and Jackson and Darcy, we gave ourselves some fighting chance to maybe turn that into a conversion. But it just feels like between the king of the pack, no inside 50 pressure, and then they're just being countered straight back in our faces. It's just a serious problem that I feel like we have not addressed properly in this club.
No, that's a good point. I remember 2022, one of our great set plays was just Darcy in the ruck, hitting it over his head to Switter or to Shooter. When we had Schultzy. And yeah, we don't have that inside tight craft anymore. Like our small forwards just don't provide as much of a forward pressure threat and a goal threat at the moment as well, which is sad. But plenty of room for improvement. I hope, once Hayden and maybe Shea Bolton plays that forward role, maybe 80%. He played a lot of midfield today, I thought, Shea Bolton. And he was clearly underdone as can't remember who it was on earlier in the stream, but they said they know someone at the club who knows, and Shea Bolton's only 80%. And he played all right today, Bolton, but he has a lot of room to improve. But yeah, like you said, that forward pressure is so important, just to set up behind the ball and make it easier for our back six, so we're not just constantly getting so easy for Sydney to move the ball against us today.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you wanted to add? Appreciate you jumping on. You've got a great Fremantle opinion, and you're obviously a passionate Freo man. So thanks for hopping on. Anything else?
No, that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. And thanks for the chat. No
worries, Sean. Anytime. Keep hopping on the fan cams and hold true with us, Freo fans. You're a good man. We hope to see you on the channel.
Cheers.
Channel soon. Good man. All right. There's a few more. I'm gonna get UCAT in, and we're gonna tag team this. Where is he? There he is. Hello. By the way, just before you say anything, because there is people in line, we got more in line. We will be bringing this in. I was not skipping the queue. I just wanted some company. How you going, buddy?
Hey, mate. Oh, far
We're
out.
back. The real Dockers are back. We suck.
We are
this
so
is great.
back, aren't we? That was just gut-wrenching, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty shit, eh? Let's get Fergo in. He's been waiting for a while. We can whack with Fergo.
Yeah.
Fergo, what are you saying?
Oh, mate, gee whiz. What am I saying? Nothing too positive. Doesn't be that much for free. That was gee whiz. That was.
Yeah. Did you?
My friends, that was shit, mate. That's the easiest way to describe it. That was shit.
What was the biggest shit thing about today's game, Fergo?
I don't mean to harp on about everyone else has mentioned Banfield, but for Frederick and Banfield to combine for 0 tackles is disgraceful. You look at teams like Hawthorn, you got the Wizard and Ginnivan constantly applying pressure. You've got Darcy Jones and Toby Green. You've got Rankin and Rochelle, for example. I'm just off the top of my head. I wonder how many games in their career that Joy's combined for 0 tackles. I'd guess almost 0. It's rubbish, mate. That's one of the biggest things I take away from that is I don't know.
What did you think about Banfield and Frederick today, Noah?
To be honest, in that first quarter, I was sort of thinking about what we've been saying over the past couple of weeks, how Freddie really struggles to get involved in general play. And I thought in the first quarter a bit, he actually did really well at that. He faded out massively, and that's always been our massive issue with him. He fades in and out of games. As you said, that stat of 0 combined tackles is deplorable. I mean, it just
That's a
sort
good
of
stat,
highlights.
but it's a terrible stat.
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah. It just baffles me. Honestly, I was lost for words with just some of the stupid shit we were doing today. It wasn't even... There were so many things I saw today, not just from Banfield and Frederick, but in our forward half, where I just thought we were past it a few years ago. And it's the same thing we've been seeing for so long. Like, our forward 50 entries, like, yes, Frederick and Banfield weren't amazing, but neither was Amos, neither was Bolton, neither was Reed. Like, our forward 50, we're giving those guys no service. And the kicks we're putting inside 50, it's not even like we're putting them to our tools advantage where our smalls can get to work. Like, they're just absolutely nothing kicks. Like, I don't think anyone really helped anyone today. It was, I don't know, mate.
It was many times as well. There was marking contests in our forward 15 on the wings where, like, there was no front and centre crummers from Freo. Sydney got so many cheap exits from inside 50 with no one crumbing the ball at all. I also noted one more stat for you, that the clearance battle, centre clearances was even at 10 apiece, but stoppage clearances was 15 Freo, Sydney 27. So no wonder so many times I was streaming down the field in transition, because I was getting the ball from obviously throw-ins and throw-ups so easily, mate. I don't know how you can tie the centre clearances but lose the stoppage clearances by 12. I don't know how you fix that, but yeah, it explains a lot of Sydney's easy exits.
Well, Sarong is obviously our best stoppage player. He was copping a hard tag today, him and Brayshaw. I can't remember a time. Well, Sarong had some sort of streak last year where he had 30 touches or more, or 20 touches or more, or whatever it was, whatever that record was.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't remember a time when him and Brayshaw both didn't have 20 disposals in a game. Jager O'Meara was our best midfielder today, and big ups Jager O'Meara for playing well. But if Jager O'Meara in the twilight of his career is our best midfielder, like that's just not a recipe for success. But yeah, what did you make of our midfield today, Noah?
So one-dimensional. Like, everything just feels the same. Like, we had no physicality, no pace going through there. I thought, like, again, we started the game so well. I could go on for ages about how good that first quarter was. I thought our handball chains were really good. I thought we were using kick and handball at sufficient times. I thought our IQ was really good through the middle of the ground. You know, Sarong, Brayshaw, O'Meara, O'Driscoll, I thought had a really good game, particularly good first quarter. And I just thought everything was clicking in that first term. And for some reason, we just, for the final 3 quarters, I felt like we had the game lost for the last 3 quarters. Like, just nothing felt like it was going right.
Yeah.
It was so slow in there. We were trying to chuck Shea Bolton through there to give us something that wasn't working. Like, we were trying everything we could, but I think it just comes down to team selection in the end. I forgot to mention Neil Erasmus. I thought he was a great inclusion. I'm sure some people have already spoken about him. Yeah, but he pinch hits in the midfield. He plays that high half forward role. So, yeah, I was happy with Raz today. I'm happy JL tried something different at the selection table, but just in game, it's just very samey week in, week out. That is 6 losses in a row, by the way. Like,
yeah, we haven't won since the Derby.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, mate. Fergo, what did you make of our midfield as a whole today? Like, so aside from the centre bounce, yeah.
Well, when you got O'Meara, Brayshaw, and Sarong, obviously your key 3 midfielders. Now, I'm not saying it is a bad thing in my opinion that all of them have handballed more than they've kicked. Like, there's just no drive out of the midfield without Hayden Young there, especially. Or maybe they threw Bolton in there to try to get some drive out of the midfield. But gee whiz, there's so many times we tried to start these handball chains. When they come off, they look good. But some players in our team, they're not skillful enough to execute it. And we just turn the ball over, or we get tackled and it's a ball up, just trying to overhandball the fucking football. Sorry, pardon me. Which is just, it does my head in, mate. Sometimes you just got to kick for territory. I'm not saying bomb it long all the time, but overusing the ball, I thought at times in the midfield. Like, did once today did we stream out of a centre clearance at all during the game? I don't, like, off the top of my head, I can't remember any.
I kind of thought we looked all right in centre clearances today. There was a few times where, I don't know, I felt like there was enough. I don't think it was like completely dead today, but I could be wrong.
Do you think it's enough to be a contending team, though?
No, obviously not.
I think we miss Young desperately.
Yeah.
I reckon he's almost our most important player besides me for Pierce or Tracy, obviously.
He absolutely is.
Not a key position player. I think Young's our most important player. But I don't know, mate. It's just as you Kat said, extremely one-dimensional. Like you bring in Erasmus and John. Bring in Erasmus. I mean, yes, he played well, but it's not like he offers anything different to anyone else already had in the team. Like, yeah, we don't have many points differences in the wings besides Young. Literally, all anchors around Hayden Young, and he's had a few injuries in the past. Obviously, this pre-season, I'm not sure how much he's trained. So yeah, we're relying on someone like him to be able to offer us something damaging out of the midfield. It's concerning. Need someone else to stand up.
Could Heath Chapman do that? Like, do you actually think Heath Chapman could move up and play the wing role, or do you just see him as a defender?
Yeah, he probably could. Yeah, he probably could.
It's mind-boggling why we haven't tried it yet.
Yeah.
No, I think he could. Yeah, I believe he could. But probably, the stupid thing is, he'll probably take an injury to put Sharp or a Driscoll or a Mirror to even see that happen, which is the annoying thing. Like Longmire, he's not very big on experimenting stuff, is he? Really? Like can't think of many things he's experimented besides Young in the midfield, which was kind of an obvious thing to do. But I'd love to see Chapman on a wing. I actually thought in the Geelong game, he wasn't the worst at half forward either. Like obviously he's not used to playing there, but I thought he created the contest and he uses the ball a lot better than a lot of people in our team, which is the main thing, I guess, when you're playing that side of the footy.
It was just good to see him back on, like, starting today. Like when he was sub last week, I was bamboozled. But I don't know, there was just points where the ball's in dispute, and I feel like if I'm not trying to, he's catching strays here where he doesn't deserve it. But if we had someone like a Kyle Warner in, like, he just wouldn't have done the job that Heath Chapman did today. Not to say that Heath Chapman had an incredible game, but like, I think, there was times where he just defended well. And yeah, he is a point of difference in our side. Who was it before? I think it was John. That was on before saying, Cox, Draper, Pearce, Chapman's a bit too tall. How do you see that? What do you think about our defence, Fergo?
Well, I'll be interested to see what happens next week. Now, I assume I think Walker dislocated his shoulder, didn't he? I think I read somewhere.
Something
someone
like
said
that
to me.
Yeah.
Assuming Walker misses next week, surely they don't throw Draper in for Walker because that would just be one of the tallest backlines in history. I'm not sure what will happen next week with Walker out. But yeah, if I think you can only play one of Draper or Cox, to be honest. I think Chapman, he's a different player to him. I understand last week maybe Draper was a slightly ahead of Chapman, but I think Chapman has to play, and you pick either one of Draper or Cox to play.
That's smart. What do you reckon, you Cap?
Yeah, I've been popping on about this for 2 weeks now. Like, you can only play one of Draper and Cox. They do not fit in the same team together. I mean, it was a blessing in disguise having Draper as sub today. I was sort of rolling my eyes when it first came out, sort of leveled my head at the decision, sort of made sense. And then Walker went out and we had to live with the reality of the Cox, Pearce, Draper backline yet again. It's just way too tall. Like, yes, Draper has the ability to play smaller, but as a dynamic, it just doesn't work. As you were saying earlier, like, Heath Chapman is such a versatile player, and he was so good down the back line today. He was just winning basically every 50-50 that came to him. And he's better playing smaller. But I feel like we need to sacrifice one of Cox and Draper to just get that balance in the entire back six. Play Chappie as that third tall. And Chappie, it's so interesting because he's invaluable down back, but that bigger body was so needed. We were pounding on about it before the Geelong game. We need to stop the runners of Holmes and Smith. We had no big body there. It didn't happen. This week, we were piping home about we need to stop Warner and Heaney. It didn't happen. Chad Warner was unbelievable. So it just feels like we keep ignoring the need for a big-bodied midfielder behind the ball, and we're just chucking in a Mira or a Johnson. I'm not saying Johnson's not big-bodied, but he doesn't play that role that we need. So yeah, I just think, again, a blunder in the midfield. We just can't get that mix right. And yeah, I don't know.
I find it interesting. So last point I've got for you. I find it interesting that Johnson and O'Driscoll led the inside 50 count today, 8 apiece, and they both went at 60% efficiency, which probably sums it up, to be honest. If you're getting two blokes who can't kick it above 60%, kicking it inside 50 for your team, you're not going to get good looks at goal. Doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, interesting. Johnson by foot is always feels like that. Like, yeah, he definitely needs to improve. I thought Noddy was pretty solid today. Like, I don't know, he broke lines and
I'm
made it easy for our forwards to hit up.
I'm not knocking Driscoll's game as a whole. I just think there's better people to be kicking the ball inside 50 than him, to be honest. But
who is other than Hayden Young? Who is?
I'd rather Brayshaw be kicking it inside 50 than Driscoll personally. I'd rather Clark be kicking it inside 50. I'd rather Ryan. I mean, okay, maybe I'm being a little bit unrealistic with where they play on the field, but Wagner and Clark, Brayshaw, I'd probably trust by foot more. I'd probably even trust Murphy Reid by foot more. Bolton.
Yeah,
I
100%.
wouldn't trust Johnson more, that's for certain. And I wouldn't probably. I'm not Erasmus either, but I think he's not the worst in the team by Driscoll. But if you're getting that many inside 50s, he got 1 goal assist from 8 inside 50s. You probably want to get a couple more, in my opinion. But I guess
100%.
when you're missing set shots like
Voss
Voss was today, I guess maybe there was a few goal assists gone missing. I'm not sure he set him up for those misses, but yeah, there was a few easy chances missed as well, which I don't think anyone's noted yet. But yeah, Voss missed a couple of sitters.
Yeah, I think that sort of goes both ways. I think both sides missed some sitters today. But yeah, it's so frustrating. Like, I'm sat at home, just stood up in front of the TV, like, Voss, just kick this. Like, you're a professional athlete. Please just kick it. Put it to bed. That was all it needed. And I was sat there with my housemate, and I was like, this game still has a goal in it after that. And it was Sydney who ended up doing it. What do you make of Luke Ryan, guys? Because, like, we love him. He's a great character. He's a couple-time All-Australian. But, like, is he just a kick merchant? At what point do we have to actually start thinking, like, yeah, how did you guys see Luke Ryan's game at the ground today?
This was my next point. It wasn't just Luke Ryan, but our backs. First of all, I'll talk about his defense in a sec, but all of our backs, or even some of our wingers or our midfielders, whenever a player went behind the ball, you know, on half back, center wing, wherever, and there was a contest down the line, it wasn't just that we were bombing it there out of habit. Sydney weren't even closing the corridors. I don't think Sydney defended exceptionally
Hang on, Fergo's a Bond fan. What the hell's going on here?
This just isn't on, is it?
It's not Freo Faithful. He's a traitor.
That's there to rile up someone else whose name I won't mention. That's
all right.
Yeah, you might know who you.
Yeah.
Good.
Anyway, yeah. So whoever marked it, center wing, half back, whatever. Sydney didn't defend exceptionally well. They didn't close the corridors. There was always at least 2 or 3 options making a lead in the middle. You know, there was always an easy switch on. We could have always spread the game, and we just never made that decision. Luke Ryan was the main perpetrator of this. I don't know what's going through his head, but you've just called him a kick merchant. He can't even make the right fucking kick. Like, so yeah. What actually is he? Like, he's known as an exceptional interceptor, an exceptional kicker to football, but his IQ is just, it really mind boggles me, to be honest. And moving on to his defending, he's sort of he's probably not on the level of Jeremy McGovern, but he is sort of our Jeremy McGovern. He's that loose man, he's that interceptor. But as soon as we have to put him in a one-on-one situation, it's a hard watch, mate. It's a really hard watch.
I just had a look. 2 games, no one can.
Is that Luke Ryan you're talking about there?
So. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I was looking here.
That's Luke Ryan.
Yeah. About Luke Ryan, 2 games so far, 0 contested marks for an interceptor. Quite an interceptor. It's a bit damning.
Yep.
Sam Bassett Scarf wants to know: would you drop Draper or Cox if we're too tall?
What's your answer, Fergo? Because I know mine.
Cox.
Yep, same.
I don't
hate Brennan Cox. Like, I think he offers something fantastic to our team. But I really just think in this day and age, Josh Draper is such a modern day tall defender. He offers so much more. He can play at ground level. He can play tall. I think it's absolute daylight at the moment.
And yeah. And you can't go wrong blooding the youth either, I guess.
Yeah.
The more games he'd play, the more games Draper will play, the better he'll get. Not sure you can say the same about Brennan Cox.
Yeah, exactly.
Fergo, you've brought a lot to this stream, mate. We appreciate you hopping on. Did you go to the game today?
Yeah. I was there, mate.
Yeah,
I was there.
Man.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But no, keep hopping on the live streams, mate. We loved what you brought today.
See you guys.
We'll keep it moving. Cheers, Fergo. We got average to come in. I want to answer a question here before we bring him. Where was it? Changes next week, Noah.
We'll talk about this more on the pod, but just raw thinking, Fife comes in.
Just roll it, bro.
Where does Fife come in? I think it's probably going to be Carl Warner. I'd bring in James Aish for Walker.
Yeah, bring in Aish, bro. We need that experience.
He doesn't have a bad game. We were speaking about this preseason. He doesn't have a bad game. I'd bring in Aish for Walker, and I'd bring in Fife for Cox, and I'd bring Draper into the 22. And then I don't know who you make sub, but they'll work that out.
All right, fair play. Let's get average in.
Hey guys.
Average.
How's it going?
What are you saying, brother?
Oh god.
Not great, mate. We just lost.
Where can we go on? Our forward line haven't been improving, except for JT. We all love JT. He has been carrying our ass to the top. Okay, but we're not at the top. We're not at the top. We're still scoring the same amount of points. Like I think last match we were 69, and now we're 65. What's going on with that? What's going on with that? Another thing is our defense is pretty decent. Okay, until the end. And I love what you said about James Aish. I really want James Aish. We want that experience. We all do. We all do. Now, I love Coy Ragnar as well at that game. That was pretty good. Honestly, a lot to say about the thing. But the only one problem is that obviously we had Caleb Sarong and Andrew Brayshaw got tagged a lot. But the only question is, where's our tagger? Obviously, we had Chad Warner and obviously Isaac Heaney. Like, who is there going to tag them? That's worrying with me.
Is it Nathan? Is it Nathan O'Driscoll? Do you reckon? Do you reckon Nathan O'Driscoll is our tag?
We don't really have anyone though, do we? Like most of the contenders have a tagger. We don't.
Could Fife be that?
He did it on Heaney.
He sort of did a job on Heaney last year.
Yeah. I love what Nathan O'Driscoll did this match, and that was pretty well done. That's why he's my favorite player for this season. Obviously, Jago Miller, well done to him. Pretty well. Was it 32 disposals? Damn. No wonder he's the rising star of 2013. Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry.
We just got a comment. Sorry, average.
Yep.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Luke Jackson, pretty good as well as a ruck. But obviously, next week, going to be pretty good because I don't think Eagles do not have a lot of good rucks at the moment. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, that Eagles game next week is actually terrifying, eh? Like, home derby for them. They played really well today.
How do you rock up to the fan cams if we
imagine we go 0-3? But imagine the views though.
Oh mate, it would go off.
Views
That's all
would
we
be
care
sick.
about.
I just had a thought before when I don't know what we were talking about. I think it was when Fergo was in here. I remember at the start of 2022, we lost to the D's away the first week, and then we came back to Optus, played St Kilda, and it was just terrible. Like, but we ended up having a good season. I feel like it's a bit of a similar start this year. Like, big expectations, but just slow start. Man, if Fossey kicks that goal at the end, we win. It's frustrating, but so far from our
one
best.
of them, we win.
Wait, was that 2022?
It's frustrating. Yeah.
I think it was the Crows, and then it was St Kilda. I think.
It was that Heath Chapman spoiler alarm.
Heath Chapman, lovely. Let me see. You're good?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I was just thinking. I thought we subbed that year 0-2, but we must have been 1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, like obviously we know our best, the worst. Rasmus, I don't see any potential for him being in our squad because he always like muddles up a bit. I know he has been playing a lot of games, but I don't see him like being as good as like Sarong or Mira, like back in the good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon, I don't know, give Erasmus time. Like, there's a comment here about, like, this channel's meant to be positive, right? So don't be like, Erasmus won't be a good squad player. That's not
That
what we
is
want
my
to
dad,
bring.
by the way.
Like, what you've said is, that's your dad. I thought it
That's
was.
my dad, yeah.
But, like, that is a dad cat.
Yeah, don't call
But
him
yeah,
that.
like I don't know. I thought, yeah, let Erasmus have a good run before we put a line through him. Like it takes like even players like Petrarca, who Erasmus was compared to in his like in his draft year and stuff, like players like him, DeGoey, Dusty. I'm not saying that this is who Erasmus is gonna be, but it does take them like 50 to 80 games to actually really get going at the AFL level. So like let's not put a line through Erasmus just yet.
All good. All good. Another thing is I was thinking like the small forwards at the moment because we definitely need those small forwards after we lost Lockie Schultz. Like who would it be? Like obviously Freddie needs a bit of work to get those goals, but I was thinking maybe we could bring in hopefully if he's 100%, maybe Quinton Narkle, if that could be a thing that could happen, okay, or maybe Isaiah Dudley, but obviously Narkle would be the recommended because he has the experience with Port Adelaide and Geelong Cats, which I do say with Quinton Narkle, he's like one of the good players and has that relationship with Shea Bolton as well, which is I would say pretty well done.
Yeah, it's done well done to get that relationship, and hopefully they can bring in Cozzy Pickett as well. Little three relationship way bond in the forward line. Let's bring them all in. Yeah, no, the small forwards, yeah, it does need work. I feel like I don't know why, but maybe Cooper Simpson has more to his bow than Sam Switkowski in terms of like greater potential. But play Cooper Simpson as a small forward. What have we got to lose there instead of playing Bailey Banfield? Like I don't know. I don't mind that.
He's coming back from injury still for a bit. Cooper Simpson, that you copped
Who, Simpson?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
He copped a knock just before round one. And funnily enough, he's been trading on halfback all preseason. So if we need to fix there, we can chuck Simpson out there. But yeah, we drafted him as a small forward. He's played a couple games for us as a small forward. So yeah, that's always an option. As Average just said, I'd love to see Narkle get introduced when he starts to get a bit fitter. I'm not sure what his issue is at the moment, but he's been in the rehab group for a while now. Yeah, we've just got so many options in the wings. Narkle, Simpson, Sonny still got to come back from injury. Shea will adapt more. Yeah, this is only Shea's first game in that front six, which looked like an absolute rabble today. So it wasn't really his fault that he couldn't make anything happen. And yeah, I'm sure we'll work ourselves out, but that's just more optimistic thinking.
What else have you got for us, Average? Any other points to finish up on?
Another point that I really wanted him is Shea Bolton. I thought he was going to kick a goal on that game because when I saw his stats, when I saw his stats, he always kicks like 4 goals against us that one time, and some other goals against West Coast when he come back over to Optus Stadium, but he didn't kick any. I know he spent a bit of time.
Where are the Stags at, bro? Where are the 6-pointers?
But I feel like he should stay in the forward line, just like the half forward line. That's pretty good, okay. But I don't feel like he should like stay in the midfield like for that long. Obviously, he had a bit of injury just before round 2, obviously. But yeah, Shea Bolton. I wish he could have kicked a goal. There was one time that he attempted one, but I think it went all over the place for some reason.
Yeah, I think he like
But
put one
yeah,
up in
that's
the air.
crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Bolton should be like 80% forward. We need Hayden Young back. Like I feel like we need Bolton to play more midfield until we have a bit of I don't know, class in our midfield. So yeah, I do want to see Young back and then Bolton play more forward. But no, you've brought some good points, Average. Anything else you want to say before we let you go?
Yeah, we just need tackle pressure. We need the pressure inside 50. That's the main point. That's the main point. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye. Bye.
Thanks, mate.
Big ups, Average.
later.
What a man.
Big
He speaks well, Average. He brings good points. I like him.
Very positive.
Yeah,
too.
because sometimes. Wait, how's this, bro? On a positive note, got my 20-year
Oh,
membership
look at you.
scarf yesterday. So that's 20 years, 0 flags.
You are a very Freo Faithful, aren't you? A faithful Freo. Look
I
at
am
you go.
Freo, and I don't know why. But no, that last one he made, forward pressure, was not existent today.
That point, that stat that Fergo brought up, was mind-boggling. I wasn't aware of the combined 0 tackles between Freddie and Manfield. Yeah, don't really know what to say about that one. I think we should probably hold back on Shea. Like, yes, we know how good Shea is at his best, but that front six was such a rabble today. Like, nothing got going. It's Josh Tracy's a superstar that's been in this team for quite a while now. Like, that's why he kicked 4 goals. Apart from that, there was no leads being made by Amos. Our smalls weren't in the right position. Yeah, everyone was just a shadow of what they can really produce. And to be honest, like, we lost to a pretty average Sydney team. Like, Sydney have potential this year. Sydney can be way better than what we saw today. I'd go as far to say that the games they lost to Brisbane and Hawthorn, they were far better in those than they were today. So yeah, look, we lost to a pretty average team, which is the gutting thing. We were up for 90% of the game, but I feel like we had it lost for about 3/4. Just our decision making, our sort of just our what's the word? Intent was so just backwards, vanilla. It's
Flat. Yeah. When I was watching it, it was the same. Well, we had a lot of issues last week, but like it felt like urgency. Like you said it when you came in. Like we had one good quarter, and then it didn't feel like we were going to win the game from there. It was like that winnable. It was so up for grabs. It was so open, and we just don't have that instinct to like, all right, this game's within our grasp. We can go and win this. Like it felt like when the whips got cracking in the fourth, Sydney were like, we're going to go and win this game. And obviously know how they were top of the ladder last year, but like, yeah, no urgency, so flat-footed and like, yeah, just moments like that Voss shot. I think Frederick missed a really easy one in the second quarter. Erasmus not tracking his man back who goes on to kick a goal. Like it's such functions. If you switch off and just coast for a little bit this season, you're going to get found out. And like Melbourne today, for example, and us last week, like if you're a little bit off, you're going to lose games. City weren't even that good today. They just managed to beat us. But man, if we show up like that next week against West Coast Jets, we get pumped.
Absolutely. I mean, I was talking about earlier the not having a man behind the ball in the midfield for such a large portion of that game yet again. No defensive mid. And whatever you think of Harley Reid, the way he plays, if we play like we have out in the middle, like we have against Geelong and today, mate, he will absolutely destroy us. He will pants us out the middle. Like, we need to have a serious look at what that midfield is looking like because Sarong, Brayshaw, both of our vice captains, neither of them had bad, like really, really bad individual games. Like, they both cop hard tags at times, but one of them, and ideally,
I'd say Sarong had a bad game
need
today.
to step up.
Like,
would you say that?
There wasn't much that he could have done but he did have a bad game. Like he had a good spoil. It wasn't like he performed. Well, yeah, he had a bad game. It's fair to say. Like he wouldn't be going home. Like he cracked in, of course, and he's one of the best players in the comp. Don't get me wrong, but like a good to Caleb Sarong's having 35 touches, kicking a couple goals. Like, yeah, I think it's fair to say that Sarong didn't play well today.
That's fair enough. Yeah, it wasn't really preventable either. I mean, we were speaking about earlier. Average brought up the whole tagging point. GWS have Toby Bedford, Sydney have James Jordan. They're probably the two best in the game. At tagging, you've got Hawthorn as well, who have Finn McGuinness, incredible tagger. All of these players have the ability to hold absolute superstars to minimal games. Like James Jordan last week held Lachie Neale to his worst game in 11 years. He's a seriously, seriously good player at what he does. Do we need someone like that? Because whenever we've needed to sort of prevent an opposition player, we've sort of either just ignored it or put a defensive mid to sort of do a role, not necessarily play a tag. So, yeah, I think it's certainly something we need to look into. I think, as you said earlier, Noddy's probably the best sort of guy. He's got the pace. He's got a bit of size about him. We can roll him through the middle, depending on where the player we're tagging is playing. So, yeah, I don't think next week's an issue for that. I think we can just try and play our brand next week. But I think a tag in future weeks is certainly something we need to look into.
There's a comment here about Jacob Ramirez's game. Racked up possession, but just holds onto the ball and not releasing it. I thought he was great today. I thought it was clean, silky. I didn't have a problem with his game today at all. But we do need to do something about that. Like, we've seen now, you tag, he doesn't have an influence and we lose the game. Like, we can't be that easy to beat. We need to be harder than that to figure out. Like, if we don't have a tagger, why don't we make Erasmus or Johnson that? If like Erasmus and Johnson are the same type of player, why don't we make one of them like a point of difference? Like Johnson's not done. Why don't we make one of our why can't he do it? Like bring back Ryan Crowley, bro, and make Matt Johnson the next Ryan Crowley.
We've got some players that, like, even just get creative with it. Like, I know this can't happen next week or for the foreseeable future, but Brandon Walker, chuck him in the middle. Make him a tagger. Like, I'm sure he's got the capabilities.
I wouldn't want to say that.
Oh, well, mate, it's just something different. Like, everything has just felt the same for so long now. I feel like I'm watching the same, just bang average team week in, week out. Mate, 6 losses in a row. Our last win was the Derby last year. It's not good enough. It is unacceptable. And so many of these, in fact, all of these losses have been preventable. It's just, mate, what do you do? You've got to do something different.
Yeah. Where does JL go to from here? We're not saying sack JL by any means, but I can do something, JL.
I haven't watched this presser yet, but
show your coaching prowess.
I swear, if it's, we got beaten in the contest, we got out-hunted, our tools didn't give us enough, then, to be honest, I'm going to punch my laptop. Like, I don't know, mate.
I think someone quoted what he said. The thought of watching it, like, just makes me severe unhappiness. But someone like quoted it. I don't know if this is a quote, but it was something like, "We didn't implement our game plan" or something like that.
I saw that. It wasn't real, but it's something he'd say.
Well, what did you make of the Vita La Vida chants today?
Horrific. We scrapped it after we scrapped it after a goal. They've been pushing propaganda into us for about a week and a half now about this new game day experience. We had, like, when we went to toss the coin, we had the Hells Bells, which was pretty cool. Like, the atmosphere was pretty good pre-game. And then, we booted the first of the game. The crowd got all up and about, and then some Coldplay just started, blasting over the Optus speakers. And I was sort of just listening.
Bro.
Is the Freo Faithful just going to hurl into a massive Freo? Like, is something going to happen here? But no. We scrapped it after one goal.
No.
We went back to it in after about our 5th goal or something. And again, it didn't work. So if anyone from the Fremantle Football Club is watching, I'm advising you on behalf of the fans to scrap Viva La Vida.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do Vita La Vida. No one wants that. Like, if you're trying to create that atmosphere, like, look what Port Adelaide do. What's that called? Never Tear Us Apart. Anfield in Liverpool. You never walk alone. United, it's the Stone Roses. It's songs that actually art and like something to do with, I don't know, it means something. Not a fucking Coldplay song.
Do you remember when we first moved into Optus, we had Purple Rain as like a 60 seconds to bounce down song? It was like for the first 5 games we had it before we removed it for some reason. I don't particularly know the reason, but it was goosebumps. I'm not sure. I can't recall if the crowd enjoyed it or if it went well.
Wait, you were a fan of Purple Rain?
Yeah, I loved it. Mate, it resembles with the club. We're purple.
Purple Rain. Purple Rain.
Little light show going on.
Wow.
Mate, it was mint. I was a big fan of it.
Nah. Bro, songs after goals just aren't it. We don't need songs after goals. Like,
Let's
you can
do
play
player songs after
literally
goals.
anything.
Yeah.
Nah, but then you'd get some KSI.
That's an
playing or
absolute
something.
joke, by the way. What are
True
you
Footy
talking about?
chimed in with you can have Birds of Tokyo.
True Footy rarely chimes in with anything useful. Actually.
Yeah, I'm basically running his YouTube channel these days, so yeah, I can concur to that. I don't even know if that hurts, but no, we're all friends here. The Dockside View said, trying to manufacture atmosphere does my head in.
Absolutely.
100%. Did they do the Wolfie time? Did they do the Wolfie time thing today?
No. I was waiting for it. I was checking the AFL app. There was 3 minutes to go, or a minute and a half to go. Sydney has just scored a goal to go ahead. And we're walking back to the middle, and I'm waiting for the lights to just start flashing, a big Wolfie time to come on the big screen. I'm waiting for it. And we've just we were hyping this up. It's the same propaganda that's been pushing Coldplay to us. Like, we were hyping up this Wolfie time. Like, it was elite. The one game I remember last year where it was elite was the Collingwood game. We nearly won it because of that just boost it gave the crowd. But we just didn't use it today. I mean, 90 seconds to go, down by 3 centre bounce. If that's not a time to use Wolfie time, when is it?
Yeah, straight up. How was the atmosphere today?
Unreal. 45K. 310. I mean, it was 35 degrees in Perth. So, fair play for 43K getting out there. Absolute roaster. I think it's probably going to be the same next Sunday. There's a massive heat wave throughout the week in the middle of autumn, which is, a bit woke, but that's okay. Yeah.
A bit. Something that actually did have an impact today was the sun. Like, in that first half, we kicked 5 goals in the first quarter because we were kicking, not with the sun in our eyes. Like, our forwards could hit up and not have the sun going in their eyes. And Alex Pearce, had a fresh dropped chest mark because he was looking into the sun. And then the next quarter, they kicked 3 back or whatever it was. That genuinely impacted today.
Yeah,
so if they could put a roof on Optus, maybe win a flag then.
It was sunny for both teams, though. So, I don't know. Is this... We're going to AFTV areas after round 2?
No, but it made it... No. Yeah, it was actually the weather that caused us to lose. Nah.
Yeah, mate.
No, I'm saying that impacted both teams today. The 2 quarters, there was genuinely a scoring end. We had the run of it in the first quarter. They had the run of it in the second quarter. But when the sun went down, I don't know. If our captain is having a fresh, airy chest mark, it's obviously... I'm not saying that's what caused us to lose. Stop putting words in my mouth.
Oh, mate. I don't know. I could blame so many things for today's loss, but I think the be-all and end-all is that...
I think it was Coldplay.
Yeah, it was Coldplay.
I think it's Coldplay.
Martin. I reckon Chris Martin put some voodoo in Optus when he performed there a couple of years ago.
You know what'd be sick? Voodoo People by Pendulum, who are from Perth.
Yeah. Do you know what it was?
People?
In the whole they released a video about the whole Coldplay thing and the Hell's Bells and the whole atmosphere and whatever. They made a point that they wanted to make our entire matchday experience uniquely Freo. What is uniquely Freo about Coldplay? I'd love to know. Someone at the club, please get in chat and explain it to me.
We're gonna have to do a poll on this. We're gonna film the pod tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna do it tonight, so we'll do it tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the match day experience. Half of the Freo Faithful will make a poll because no one wants Coldplay. This is what I want. Pendulum are from Perth. They have a song called Voodoo People.
Piss take, mate.
That's so much. That's so much.
Mate, you've got to get that drum and bass
that.
and nut. Come on, calm down.
What's wrong with that, bro? That's uniquely Freo, bro.
As a match day experience. What's that?
Depends
Was
on the
that
front
after a
perch.
goal or something? Do you want like a light show to come
Yeah.
on and every single person get on their feet, just start fucking raving? Like
Yeah, just throwing out the gun fingers, bruv.
Yeah,
That
right.
is the most Druzy
That
music
is the most
suggestion
Druzy
ever.
music.
It's better. It's better than Coldplay. It is 100%, mate. Come on.
Yeah, mate, 99% of music's better than Coldplay after a goal. Like, come on. We just go like rotate the Coldplay songs week in, week out. Like, what are we doing?
Can we do a poll on here?
We can, not straight through StreamYard.
All right. Anyway, just keep your eyes on the Freo Faithful Insta tomorrow. We'll chuck up a story, and we'll petition our football club not to play Coldplay. No one wants it. When Druzy gets married, he'll walk down the island. No, but anyway, I'm not turning this into a drum and bass show. Come on now.
Well, it's more exciting than Fremantle.
Anything to close out the stream, Noah?
Anything to close out the stream. We need to improve as a football club. My raw emotions straight after the game, I was flat. I've sort of cheered up a bit now, just sort of accepting that, we're not at where we need to be. We've got a long way to go, and we've really got to start to dig in. Like, this season's far from over. We're 0-2 in a 24-week season. Let's kick on from here. A mini grand final next week. If we lose that derby, then I would go as far to say our season's over. But if we win that, we can really kick on from there. So, look, we've had a tough couple games to start the season. Let's kick on from here. Season's not done. Let's work out what we need to. Let's go back to the drawing board and let's sort something out.
Well, the Lions started last year 0-3. Our season's not done if we lose next week, but it would be aiming to lose against West Coast. Geelong are always a side that sort of starts slow as well. Like, they lost to St Kilda, but you wouldn't rule them out. Like, next week has to be the turning point, though. Like, we have to win that, and then get on a little bit of a run. Who have we got after that? The Doggies at home. Like, yeah, season's far from over, but yeah, we need to start putting together. So yeah, don't put a line through a yet. What have we got? West Coast. So the True Eagle will be the preview this week. That True Footy guy.
Mate.
You ever heard of him?
No, I have. I haven't
videos
heard
back
good things. I wouldn't recommend watching.
Will be out probably Tuesday, Wednesday podcast. Have you got school in the morning?
Yeah, I got school
Morning,
tomorrow.
don't you?
We'll record it tomorrow night. So probably pod Tuesday is more likely. Maybe pod Monday. Never know. We'll sort something out.
Yeah, pod Tuesday-ish, maybe late Monday. Oppo view with Jesse will be Tuesday-ish, and then we'll go from there. But shout out to you all. It's been a fun stream. Regardless, we've spoken through all of our problems. To everyone that hopped on and provided their say. If you didn't hop on, make sure you do hop in next week. Are you going to go to the Derby?
I will be at the Derby, indeed. Not looking forward to it, but hopefully we get the job done.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Mate, the West Coast
that.
home crowd is absolutely revolting. Like, year after year, I put myself through it.
You should go with Jesse. I'm sure he'd love to hang out with you.
Yeah, mate. I'm sure I'll catch up with him and just hurl abuse at him for 4 quarters.
But no, thank you to everyone who has joined. We're going to wrap it up there. Hopefully next time we do one of these, it's positive and we're talking about beatings. But at this rate, it's not looking good. All right. We'll finish it there. Cheers, guys. Talk to you soon.